So is breaking free for you? So Julie, when we do Reset Week, what we do is we get loads of people in. There were like 300 people in there, and we give them lots of free content. And then on the last day, we launch our 3-month program, which is called Breaking Free. So Reset Week takeaways, these were the things that we did our talks, and I really wanted you to remember these things, that it's not about willpower, it's about changing your mindset, seeing alcohol in a different way. Alcohol's an addictive drug, so once we've crossed a certain line with our drinking, moderation is impossible. And so many of us get stuck in this moderation trap. And I love this little cap here because he's hanging on to moderation like crazy. We had an exercise run by one of our team called Finding Your Whys. And that's all about interrogating yourself. Why do you want to give up drinking? And then really searching in your heart, why do you? And listing them and keeping them in your journal and looking at them every day. They're so important. It's like the engine of your sobriety. And it will be hard to do this. It'll be hard for maybe 3 months, and then it will get easier. Whereas if you carry on drinking, it will continue to be hard because it'll probably get worse. So we're saying just do the work. And if you do join Breaking Free, you're going to have so much support to get through it. And we've picked on 3 months for Breaking Free because we think that's the sweet spot. I've been doing this for 10 years now. Most of the people that I've helped to get sober, they've really nailed it in 3 months if they've done the work. And then after that, there's still obviously work to be done navigating our alcohol-drenched society, but the main work is done if you really treat it like a project and get stuck in. So Reset was just the first step on the staircase. Just waking up without a headache is a glimpse of alcohol-free living. And now it's time to take the second step. It's time to reflect on what comes next. So this is how Breaking Free works, Julie. We've got these 4 components. So there's lots of community support. We've got 9 people supporting the program who are a mix of the Tribe Sober team and ambassadors. And then we're going to kick off with a 3-hour masterclass on the 31st of January. And then after that, there will be Zoom meetings. You'll be invited to the Tribe, so the member Zoom meetings, and there's 5 of those every week. So that's the masterclass on the 31st. And then you get 3 one-to-one coaching sessions interspersed in the 3 months and an online course to work through. So the online course comes out in modules, 1 module a week, so that we don't overwhelm you with content. And it's just to get you through the hardest bit, really, because some of the people that did Reset there, they were struggling quite a lot. They were in withdrawal, but that does pass. And 15 to 45 days, normally you start to feel okay on some days anyway. Because if we've been drinking for years and our brain's been relying on that chemical to feel good, then it's going to miss it. And it does take a period of time just for our brains to recalibrate and for the dopamine receptors to do their work. And there's a bit of a low mood period often between 45 and 90 days. And then it really does get you easier. So we've already got 9 people signed up for Breaking Free, which is fantastic. We take 20 on each program. So registration is open for another week. So we've got 3 ladies from the US, 3 ladies from the UK, and 3 ladies from SA. So it's lovely international group. And that's what usually happens, which is great. And here's the cheerleaders. There's something about 9. This is our 9th Breaking Free course. So we call it BF9, and we've got 9 cheerleaders, and here they are. So there's me and Lynn, who is here. Lynn did Breaking Free this time last year, and she's now 1 year sober. So do the maths. It certainly worked on her. my colleague Monica, and then we've got Granya's done Breaking Free, and Laurie has done Breaking Free, and Julie's done Breaking Free. So they all know the program and they'll really be a great support. So are you sitting on the fence? Are you contemplating, and do you still have questions? So these are the kind of questions that people ask us. People often ask, can I keep your content? I really like those talks, etc., and the tasks that you put on there. We leave them up for all of next week, and then we do take that group down because it's just a pop-up Facebook group. But people that sign up for Breaking Free will get what we call Bootcamp on Demand, because we've packaged the content in a nice folder. So we just give it out with the Breaking Free material. And if you're not doing Breaking Free, then you can purchase it. If you go to Tribe Sober website and our services, it is on there. But you, Julie, you should just get in the group because it's still active for another week. So you can look at it all there. Some people ask us if they can share the content with their friends. The answer is yes, you can. You just hit this invite button at the top of the page, be there for one more week, and tell them it's a private group. So their Facebook friends can't see that they've joined. That seems to be a real issue. I get asked that question so much. Will my Facebook friends be able to see that I'm on this group? But they can't, unless they're on the group themselves. And then that might start a whole other conversation with them. And people say, I've had a week off and I'm feeling great. I think I'm sorted. I think I'm fixed. I disagree in most people's cases. They've been drinking for years and they're not going to be fixed in 5 days. But it is a great way to kickstart the journey. But your motivation will fade, obviously. People feel very motivated after having 5 days in a community where there's been lots of engagement. But that's what happens in Breaking Free. There's 3 months of engagement. And these 3 wicked characters here, Julie, this is the Wine Witch, this is Moderation Mary, and this is Association Alice. And those are our Tribe Sober villains. So they'll be there trying to derail your journey every single day. And you'll need some support maybe to help you fight them. And it's really hard to do this alone. Most of us have been trying to do it alone for years before we found a community and then realized that was the answer. So you do need it Breaking Free after reset. Most people do, because the people supporting you have done the program. Lots of people say to us, I'm so busy, I just don't have time for this. But I'm a busy woman. I've always been busy. I worked in corporate. I know what it means to try and add something. So I designed it specifically to be flexible. So the coaching sessions, we can schedule them whenever you like. The Zoom meetings are at different time zones, different times. You'll definitely be able to find 1 or 2 to go to every week. The online course, you move through at your own pace. And you have lifetime access, but we do recommend you get through it in the 3 months to keep the momentum going. And the live masterclass on the 31st of January, the timing for that is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. SA time. So that's 3 p.m. start in the UK. So that's the only thing that you need to schedule. And we can even give you a recording for that. But we really recommend that you go there because it's so lovely to meet the other people on Breaking Free. And you will be meeting them in other meetings and on your WhatsApp group, obviously. But it's just lovely when everybody's sitting at the beginning and we're all excited together. And of course, sobriety saves you time because you become so much more efficient when you're not drinking. Yeah, this is one of our cheerleaders, actually one of our ambassadors. She'll be supporting this next Breaking Free cohort. She's a busy working mum, and she simply said to her family, who are quite demanding, she said, I'm going to be disappearing into my bedroom for an hour every evening, and I'll be in there with my laptop, and I don't want to be disturbed. And they were shocked and horrified for the first few evenings, and then they said, oh, okay, mum. So it's not a lot to ask. So they were fine in the end. And she got through it. She nailed it. And on Wednesday, Grania is 2 years sober. And she admits she's got so much more time and energy than when she was drinking. I can't afford breaking free is another one we get. So we say to people, just work out what you spend on alcohol and multiply that by 12. And this is Helen, who's also one of our cheerleaders, and she recouped the cost in the first month. She went on to save a further 2,000. She lost 2 stone in weight. And she's even made me a little video here.
Hello, everyone. Helen here from a wet and rainy UK. Sincerely hope that you are all keeping well. So the big question, can I afford to complete the Breaking Free program? The question should be, can I afford not to join the Breaking Free program? Breaking Free has changed my life. 3 months of solid support from Janet and the team, tasks, quick hits, suggestions, podcasts, etc. Above all, a community of like-minded, kind people that I now consider to be sisters from another mister and a brother from another mother. In the first month, I saved enough from not buying the booze and the associated rubbish food to pay for my Breaking Free program, and I've gone on since then to save since March over £2,500. As a bonus, I've also lost 2 stone because booze is full of sugar, and I would ultimately always eat takeaways when I was drunk. So yeah, come on, join the Breaking Free program. You will have no regrets. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.
And Helen was on the same Breaking Free as Grania, so she's coming up to her 2nd soberversary in February. So yeah, we get people to do sums in research, Julie. So we've just got how much people are saving. One of our US people who's on Breaking Free has worked it all out, and she's online to save $6,000 over 5 years. She's going to take her family on a fantastic trip. Another US lady in Breaking Free was spending $5,640 a year on alcohol. And we got, Rosemary, that's a British one. She recouped the cost in 3 months, went on to save 1,000 by the end of the year. So it's just one of those things. I know I was the same when I was a drinker. I never thought about how much I was spending. You just find the money somehow. So we do have a payment plan. You can just divide the total into 3. And if you're still on the fence, maybe think about how many years alcohol kept you trapped. Because there was some research done a couple of years ago by an American sobriety group who asked hundreds of people in recovery, how long was it between that moment when you thought, I'm drinking too much, I've got a bit of a problem here, and that moment when you did something about it? And the average is 11 years. So that's 11 years in that moderation trap, trying, failing to drink less and not really wanting to do anything about it. 11 years of struggling in shame and silence for a lot of people because they don't want to go to AA and they don't know where else to go. So we're saying end the struggle today, because we can take you on a journey of transformation. That's all Breaking Free is, a ticket, journey. And this is the destination. I'm not going to read it all because you can read, but there are so many benefits to sobriety, especially as we get older. When I turned 60, I was exhausted and I thought, oh, that's what it's like to be old. But I'm much older than that now and I'm full of beans. Aren't I, Lynn? And sobriety is just the beginning. Sobriety is just the ticket to the show. The band that hasn't even started to play. We say that recovery is 10% quitting the drink, and then you have to reconstruct your life, really. You have to build a life, an alcohol-free life that you love. And it's an adventure, it's a journey, self-discovery. So we say to people, just choose your heart, because both ways are going to be hard. Breaking free will be hard sometimes, but if you're curious, if you listen and learn, and if you lean into the people that are supporting you and your other breaking free people, it will get you through. Much harder to keep drinking, becoming more dependent, more isolated, more anxious, and putting your health at risk. So make this the year you invest in yourself. The offer's still open for 5 days. We've got 20 places, so there's 11 places left. And the two choices are do nothing for maybe 11 more years. Your life will stay the same and the drinking will get worse. Or come to our safe space of transformation and break free just once and for all. Just get the job done and become the person you were meant to be. So we have that masterclass on the very last day of January, and then it's February to April, the course. So 11 places left and open for 5 days, or until we get our 20. Here's a nice before and after picture of Leonie, who was one of our breaking free people.